येनाक्षरसमाम्नायमधिगम्य महेश्वरात् कृत्स्नं व्याकरणं प्रोक्तं तस्मै पाणिनये नमः। येन धौता गिरः पुंसां विमलैः शब्दवारिभिः तमश्चाज्ञानजं भिन्नं तस्मै पाणिनये नमः। वाक्यकारं वररुचिं भाष्यकारं पतञ्जलिं पाणिनिं सूत्रकारञ्च प्रणतोऽस्मि मुनित्रयम्। ॐ नमः पाणिनिकात्यायन पतञ्जलिभ्यः शब्दविद्या संप्रदाय प्रवर्तकेभ्यो मुनिभ्यो महद्भ्यो गुरुभ्यः। In this class we will start with the 53rd sutram in the second pada of first adhyaya. Right from 53rd rule up to 57th rule, all these 5 sutras, they are named Asishya Prakaranam. Asishya Prakaranam, that means yad asishyam tad asmin prakarane uchyate. What is asishyam? Sishyam means sikhaniyam, vaktavyam, that is which can be taught, which can be prescribed, which can be imposed, which can be dictated. Asishya means that should not be taught, or that should not be declared, that should not be imposed. All these 5 sutras, they deal with things which are not to be declared as such. This first sutra and all the other sutras also in these 5, they refer to the earlier sutra which states lupi yuktavad vyakti vachane. That is the statement or the rule made by grammarians former to Panini. What did they say? They say when a pratyaya is made loop, that is it is dropped by means of a word loop, because a pratyaya can be dropped by means of 3 words: luk, shlu, loop. So when a pratyaya is dropped by the word loop, then the earlier grammarians used to say after dropping that pratyaya, whatever word that remains, that is manufactured, that resembles the same gender and same number as of the original word. There the example has been given. Panchalaha is the name of some princess. Panchalasya apathyani, the offspring of Panchala. There are certain princes. Panchalaha, this is in masculine gender and plural number. Panchalanam nivasaha janapadam ityarthe. That means the place of residence or the kingdom relating to them, of whom Panchala princess. That is, after this Panchalaha, a pratyaya is to be imposed on them. That is an pratyaya. That will be dropped by a sutra janapade lup. Janapadam ityarthe pratyayasya lup bhavati. That means on pratyayaha, Panchalaha iti shabdat, pratyayasya anaha lup bhavati. The pratyaya gets dropped. So the earlier grammarians used to say the linga and the vachana of the resultant word. Resultant word also is Panchalaha. That means Panchalaha means in the earlier form it is Panchala princess, the offspring of Panchala Maharaja. The later word, the manufactured word after dropping the pratyaya means Panchalanam Nivasaha Janapadam. Janapadam means a group of villages. So both the words have the same have this meaning is different, but same gender and same number. Evam cha varanaha, sirishaha, ityadayah. So that statement made by the earlier grammarians before Panini, he has quoted it in the earlier sutra as it is. Their opinion he has codified in a rule, lupi yuktavad vyakti vachane. And thereafter in these 5 sutras, he is going to deny them. He says this number and this linga cannot be dictated by the grammarian. This is the gist of all these 5 principles. Because the words, the authority behind the words is lokaha, general usage by people. So, linga and vachana cannot be prescribed by certain grammatical
rules,
scientific rules, technical rules. Because essentially the lingam and also vachanam, more so lingam, that depends upon the general usage of the language by the world at large. So that idea is expanding in these 5 sutras. That is the essential idea. That means Panini Mahasaya itah purva uktam purva vayakaranaihi yat itah purvam uktam asit tad pratyakyatam Paninina. And then he has negatived it. He has not agreed with that. Earlier he has quoted whatever they have said, but here he starts with tad asishyam. Asishyam means that cannot be told, that cannot be declared as such. What cannot be declared? Tad. Tad means yuktavad vyakti vachane. That cannot be technically prescribed. Asishyam means that cannot be taught, that cannot be spoken by grammatical rules. What is the reason for that? He says, tad asishyam yuktavad vyakti vachane iti vishayah asishyah. The reason is sanya pramanatvat. This is Panchami. Sanya pramanatvam. Sanya pramanatva shabdat Panchami. Hetav Panchami. Why that is asishyam I am telling? Because sanya pramanatvat. Sanya means names. The words, their names. Their names are authorized by the general usage. That is being exemplified here. That is being tasya vistaro bhavati. Tasyaiva expanded. Tasyaiva abhiprayasya vistaro bhavati. Udaharana rupena. Sanya pramanatvat. This is very important here. Because loka vyavahare sanyaha nana lingaha nana sankhyaha bhavanti. Vibhinna lingeshu vibhinna vachaneshu cha bhavanti. The names existing are naturally in many lingas and vachanas, and hence no specific rule ought to be prescribed or to be imposed about them. The linga and vachana in vogue, that is practically authorized by the usage, in force, should not be tampered with. That is the fixed opinion of Panini. That is why in remaining sutras also, you don't find, very rarely you may find it, but commonly it doesn't prescribe any linga. Patanjali also has told, lingam asishyam lokashrayat lingasya. In Mahabhashyam he says, lingam cannot be dictated by rules, by technicalities, because lokashraya, lingam is lokashrayam. So, whatever former grammarians have told about this yuktavad vyakti vachane, he has not accepted that rule. That rule is negated by Panini. Having mentioned it formally, he starts negating it, because he has got great respect for former grammarians. So before negating that, he has told that rule and then started negating it. Example, same example we will take. Yuktavat vyakti vachane, panchalaha, varanaha, ityadi, shabdaha. They are not processed in grammar by imposing a pratyaya or a prakriti. Sadharanataya, Samskrita bhashanam shabdaha, Samskrita bhashayaha shabdaha katham bhavanti ichukte, prakritihi bhavati pratyayo bhavati. He takes a prakriti. Prakriti means generally it is maulika rupena yad vartate loka vyavahare tad prakritihi tasmat pratyayah vidhiyate. So prakriti pratyaya vibhaga yoga vibhagaha eva samskrita jnanam. So because this panchalaha varanaha sirishaha ityadi shabdaha ye shabdaha purvaihi vayakaranaihi lupi yuktavad vyakti vachane iti sutrena te sikshitavantaha tad evam na shikshaniyam, because sanya pramanatvat panchalaha varanaha sirishaha ityadi shabdaha, they are names of certain places, names of certain villages, names of certain towns. So as such, you need not go into the details or the grammatical construction behind that name, because you should accept them as they are, because they are prevalent in the loka vyavahara. So loka vyavahara eva ashrayaniyaha. These names are brought into vogue by general usage. So the linga and vachana are naturally existing there and not processed as per rules of the grammar. Lingasya swabhava siddhata bhavati, vachanasyapi swabhava siddhata bhavati. It is naturally existing. For that he has given some examples. For example, apaha is one word. Apaha means water. This is the basic word is up. Prathama vibhaktau bahuvachane apaha. Esaha shabdaha nitya bahuvachananta shabdaha. Evancha esaha shabdaha strilinga shabdaha. Strilinga nitya bahuvachananta shabdaha. Who has dictated this linga? Who has dictated this vachana? Why up shabdasya nitya bahuvachanatvam? For example, you have got another word same with the same meaning, jala. Jala has got three vachanas. Jalam, jale, jalani. But here this apshabda, the word emanating from apshabda, it is in nitya bahuvachanam. So ekavachanam and dvivachanam are not existing. Who has made this rule? Nobody has made. This rule is existing. It is not a rule at all. This word is existing in that shape, nitya bahuvachananta srilinga shabdaha. In that state it is existing already in the loka vyavahara. So this is one example for the swabhava siddhata of the lingam and vachanam. So also there is another word, daraha. This is akaranta pullinga shabdaha nitya bahuvachanantam. It means husband. Husband is in singular number only. Daraha is in plural number. Right? Nitya bahuvachananta shabdaha. Pullinga shabdaha. Daraha, sorry. It's not husband. Sorry. It's wife. Wife. Sorry. Daraha means wife. Even though it signifies feminine gender word, wife, it is nitya pullinga shabdaha and nitya bahuvachananta shabdaha. In our local languages also sometimes you find this imitation of this. People who do not know Telugu may not understand it, but who know Telugu they will understand it. In our household, the gentlemen, males, they refer to their wives, ma vallu, ma vallu. You might have heard this word. Intlo ma vallu lerandi. Ma vallu means my wife. my husband, sorry, my husband. Every time I am making the same mistake. A lady says, Daraha. My wife. A gent says, Daraha. This is Nitya Bahuvachanantam and also Nitya Pullinga Shabdaha. Even though it means wife, even though it signifies a meaning of feminine gender, the word is in its natural linga, natural vachanam. So this Daraha is Nitya Bahuvachanam, Pullinga Shabdaha iti kenapi na system. That means nobody has dictated it. Evancha grihaha. Grihaha means house, a single house. Griham. Gruham is in three vachanas. Gruham, gruhe, gruhani. But another word is there, gruhaha, nitya bahuvachanam, pullingam. It means one house only. Who has dictated this linga and vachana in this case? Nobody has dictated. It is existing naturally in loka vyavahara. Evancha sikataha is one word. Sikataha means sand. This is nitya bahuvachanam, strilingam. That means why it is in strilingam. So when we make vibhakti rupani, we have to adopt the strilinga principles and also plural number, nitya plural number. Sikataha means sand. Varshaha. Varsham ityukte rain. Varshaha iti shabdaha rainy season ityarthe bhavati. Varsha kalaha ityarthe bhavati. This word, it is in feminine gender and plural number. So whatever rules are adopted for vibhakti rupas for feminine gender and plural number, those rules are adopted here also. For example, you will say Varshasu in the rainy season. Varshaha means rainy season. In the rainy season. Varshabhihi with this rainy season, like that. So these are the examples of swabhava siddhata of the gender and the number. Another rule says lup yoga prakhyanat tad asishyam iti anuvartate. Here let us divide the rule, divide the sutram. Lup, that is one word. Yoga prakhyanat. Lup is asishyam, tad asishyam iti anuvartate. Lup means a rule by which a pratyaya is dropped. That is also not to be taught, not to be spoken. Because yoga aprakyanat. Yoga means the relationship between two. That is called yoga. That is aprakyanam. It cannot be declared as such. Prakyanam means declaring. The relationship between two words, pratyaya and prakriti, the relationship is not very clear. Because of the aprakyanam, that is lack of clarity of the relationship between two, you cannot say this pratyaya is to be dropped. So also. Janapade lup varanadibhyascha lup ityadi sutraihi pratyayasya lup krutam. That should not be done. That is the opinion of Panini. What is the reason? He says yogasya aprakhyanam. Yoga means the act of conjoining a pratyaya and a prakriti. The relationship between them, it is not well defined. Aprakhyana means it is not clear, it is not well defined. So this loop rule also, it is not to be taught. That's what he says. Why Panchalaha, as told before, Panchalaha, Varanaha, Sirishaha iti. Panchalaha is the name of a particular group of villages. So also Varanaha, so also Sirishaha. Sirishaha is the name of a town. So he says, Lup asishyam. What is the reason he says? When this Panchalaha, Varanaha, Sirishaha, these words, when they do not produce any pratyaya, no pratyaya is necessary for understanding that word in the loka. So, because they are not producing any tathita pratyaya, what is the point in dropping it? Pratyaya also cannot be imposed because they are existing in that fashion, existing in that meaning in the loka vyavahara. When a pratyaya is not imposed, when a pratyaya cannot be imposed, what is the point in telling that we are dropping that pratyaya? And by dropping the pratyaya, another word is formed. So, pratyaya cannot be imposed in such cases, and dropping also cannot be imposed. There is no question of dropping. Pratyaya itself is artificial. Then where is the question of dropping it? And next we will go to the next rule. Yoga pramanecha tadabhave adarshanam syat. As you have observed, these 5 rules, in fact, they are not imposing any grammatical rule. They are only the opinions of Panini on the existing earlier grammarian statements. So these 5 principles are not like any Vidhi Sutra, or Nishedha Sutra, or Sanya Sutra, or Paribhasha Sutra. They will not be included in those types of sutras.
Not even Adesha Sutra?
Not even. They are, that is why it is called Asishya Prakaranam. All these 5 sutras are called Asishya Prakaranam. Lub Yoga Apraghyanat. That is over. Now, Yoga Pramanecha Tadabhave Adarshanam Syat. This is a vistara of the earlier rule. Yoga Pramanecha Tadabhave Adarshanam Syat. Yadi Yoga Pramanam Bhavati Tad Hetuhu Bhavati Tasya Abhavasya. Now I am telling Yoga Pramanam eva nasti. The relationship between Prakriti and Pratyaya and the meaning attributed to them, that relationship itself is not declared correctly. Pratyaya also is not necessary. So when Yoga Pramana is not there, That is the reason when yoga pramana is not there, tasya abhavaha, tasya adarshanam. Look means adarshanam. Adarshanam lopaha. So there is no question of that not accepting that pratyaya or dropping that pratyaya. For that also we take the same examples. Panchalaha. Panchalaha varanaha sirishaha iti ete shabdaha sanya shabdaha. They signify the names of certain things. Now yoga nimittaha. They are not formed because of the relationship between a prakriti and pratyaya. They are names of particular places. They are not appearing for the reason of any conjoining of words with pratyayas. Then how they came into existence? How the words have come into existence? It is in the natural process they have come into existence. It is in the lips of the people who are speaking Sanskritam. So, without any artificial union of Prakriti and Pratyaya, these words are existing naturally in the Loka Vyavahara, and that is why no Pratyaya, no dropping. There is no fact of loop also, because a specific Pratyaya has no use. Conjoining of words is not there. When a word is supposed to have formed in the natural process, that is without joining a Pratyaya, where is the question of dropping it? Tad abhave adarshanam syat. Adarshanam is not there because the Pratyaya itself is artificial. That's what he says. These words have come into the vogue as they are well rooted to express the meanings they got. Now we will go to the next sutra. Pradhana pratyayardha vachanam ardhasya anya pramanatvat. Pradhana pratyayardha vachanam ardhasya anya pramanatvat. This contains pradhana pratyayardha vachanam is one word, ardhasya second word, anya pramanatvat. In this principle also, asishyam, the word which follows from the earlier sutras. That means pradhana pratyayardha vachanam asishyam. The reason is ardhasya anya pramanatvat. The reason is told by Panchamyanta Shabda. Etau Panchami. So what is the... This is also a sort of expansion of the earlier. What is pradhanam and what is pratyayartha? That we will explain. Pradhanam, earlier, even though we have not studied samasa prakaranam as it is, as per the Ashtadhyayi, we have come across many samasas. Samasa is a combination of two words, two or more. Generally it will be two words only, and in certain samasas, two or more also are there. Dvandva samasa and Bahuvrihi samasa, two or more. Tatpurusha, Karmadhara, etc. Avyayi bhava, only two words are combined. So here the earlier grammarians they have told samase kinchit padam pradhanam bhavati, kinchit padam apradhanam bhavati. He says pradhana pratyayartha vachanam asishyam. You cannot declare that one word is pradhanam, the other word is apradhanam, because you need not declare it, because when people understand that word, they automatically know what is pradhanam and what is apradhanam. We will take some examples also. The second thing is pratyayardha vachanam. Asya pratyayasya arthaha anena prakarena bhavati iti tadapi purvacharyehi uktam. There are so many pratyayas. Those pratyayas, they mean this. That's what they have told. That is not also not to be prescribed, because that also depends upon the lokashraya. Tad avyaktavyam asichaniyam. Declaring that a particular consonant word in samasa is important, more important and less important, and deriving the meaning of them by a scientific manner, as is the habit of the Purvacharyas, this is also negatived by Panini. So also deriving the meanings of pratyayas, that is also negated by Panini. That means, for example, pratyayas, we know certain pratyayas. Even though we have not entered the pratyaya prakaranam, earlier also we are aware of some pratyayas. For example, tavya pratyaya is there. What we are telling actually, when a pratyaya like tavya is enjoined upon a dhatu, for example, pat dhatu. Pat means to read. When tavya is added, patitavya. Earlier grammarians used to say this tavya pratyaya has to be imposed to convey this particular meaning. When that pratyaya is imposed, these are the rules. Panini says the words containing these pratyayas are already in the lokas, in the loka vyavahara. So that this is the artha, this is the meaning of this particular pratyaya. It need not be taught. In fact, he should not be taught. It should not be taught, he says. Patitavya, what is the meaning they have given? And of course, we are following it in the practical usage of the language. Patitavya, which ought to be read. Vichardham, which deserves to be read. Arhatartham, yogyartham. In those meanings, we are taking this word. But signifying and imposing a rule that tavya means this. Tavya should be imposed on this to convey this particular meaning. That need not be, that should not be dictated because they are quite clear from the general usage. So, pradhana shabda, pradhana means pradhana relates to samasa. A particular padam is pradhanam, very important. The other padam is not so important, like that. And this is the particular artha of this pratyaya. These things are not to be dictated, are not to be spoken. Because in spite of the Shastra, without having recourse to Shastra niyamas, the meaning is very clear in the loka. What is more important and what is less important also, it is clear in loka vyavahara. That doesn't require any Shabda Shastra pramanam. That doesn't require any Vyakarana Sutranam pramanam. There we have got two Vartikas. Pradhana upasarjane pradhanartham sahabrutaha. Pradhana upasarjane divachanam. Pradhana shabdaha pradhana shabdasya pradhana apradhana vishayaha upasarjanam. Upasarjanam is apradhanam. Pradhana is important, very more important. Upasarjanam is less important. So, what is pradhana shabda in this particular samasa and what is apradhana shabda upasarjanam? That pradhanardham sahabrutaha. Along with the pradhana word, whatever you have imposed as pradhana, along with that word, the samasa is quite clearly meant in the loka vyavahara. Clearly, the meaning is getting clear in the loka vyavahara. The conveyance of meaning is quite natural and does not depend upon technicalities of grammar. The reason is, without recourse to usage, it is impossible to convey the meaning. How do you convey the meaning of words? Suppose you want to convey the meaning of a new word, you have to manufacture a sentence. You have to give an example of a sentence in loka vyavahara. They say like this, it means this. So, we have to take recourse to usage. We need not take recourse to grammatical rules. Because the standard is here, the authority or the standard is loka vyavahara, not scientific rules. For example, the grammarians have given an example also. Raja Purushaha. This is one samasa. Tatpurusha Samasa. What is the meaning of this? Earlier we have told. Rajnyaha Purushaha. A Purusha, a person, Rajnyaha, Raja Sambandhi Purushaha. A person having relationship to a Raja. That means working under that Raja, like that. So this is two words are there. Rajan is one word, Purusha is another word. So they combine Rajnyaha iti Panchami, Rajnyaha iti Sashti, Rajnyaha Purushaha ichukte Raja Purushaha will be Samasa. Suppose I say Raja Purusham Anaya. Please bring a Raja Purusha. Nobody, after hearing this Ajna order, nobody brings a Raja separately. Or nobody brings a Purusha separately. Or nobody brings Raja and Purusha both. Whom they will bring?
The one who has related to king.
So automatically the meaning is very clear. So the meaning, even by those who do not have touch with the grammatical rules, or who have not heard of this word grammar, this Raja Purushaha, they can understand this without recourse to grammatical rules. Same way, another example he has given. Aupagavam Anaya. Aupagavam Anaya. Anaya means bring. Aupagavam. Aupagavam means Upagoho Putraha. Upagu is the name of a Maharshi, a person. That gentleman's son is called Aupagavaha. Aupagavam Anaya iti yadi Ajna Kruta. Nobody having general common sense, nobody will bring Upagu. They will not bring Upagu. Will they bring Upagu? Because Aupagavaha iti, people know it. Without recourse to grammatical rules, they will not bring Upagu and they will not bring any other person also. The only Upagu's son only will be brought here. When the meaning is quite clear in the general usage of the word, why any artificial attempt should be made taking recourse to technicalities and grammatical rules? That is the point made by Panini. And then we will go to the Prakruti Pratyayau Sahardham Brutaha. Did I explain it? No. Prakruti Pratyayau Sahardham Brutaha. That is Prakruti Pratyaya. Patitavya. Pat is the Prakriti. Tavya is Pratyaya. Patitavya is the Prakruti Pratyaya Samyoga Shabdaha. That Prakriti and Pratyaya, together they mean what the word contains the meaning. And then we will go to the next rule. Kalopasarjane cha tulyam. Here also this word asishyam will continue. Kala and upasarjana, dvivachanam, both. Kala vishayaha, upasarjana vishayaha. Cha tulyam. There also tulyam asishyam. As before, this kala vishayaka vivaranam cha, upasarjana vishayaka vivaranam cha, tulyam asishyam. Equally, they are also not to be taught. Why did he tell this? What is kala? See, we are dividing kala generally in three. This bhuta kala, vartamana kala, bhavishyat kala. People understand this division of kala not having recourse to any grammatical rules. Nobody needs say bhuta kala means this, vartamana kala is this, and Bhavishyat Kala is this. And previous grammarians, they have labored to not that we are not disrespecting them, not Panini also is not disrespecting them, because he is explaining the bhasha, the modalities of bhasha. That means, for example, how they have, how the earlier grammarians or even present day grammarians also, if you want them, if you approach them to explain what is Bhuta Kala, what is Vartamana Kala, and what is Bhavishyat Kala, they take recourse to some Siddhantas. For example, some people say, what is today? Vartamana Kala. Vartamana Kale lat vaktavyaha. We have got a set of Kriya Padas to be used in Vartamana Kala. When Vartamana Kala, it is not defined in the Panini's Ashtadhyayi. Simply he said, Vartamane lat, ladu Vartamane. Lat is a particular prachaya. Vartamana Kalardham lat prayoga kartavyaha. He has not tried to define Vartamana Kala. But grammarians, when you approach them, they put before us certain rules. How to declare this is Vartamanam, this is Bhutam, this is Bhavishyat. For example, some people say, today, Vartamana. What is today? From what time to what time today? Some people have told, see, every night we have to divide into 4 yamas. Yama means 3 hours. 3 hours duration yama. 4 into 3, 12. 12 hours night, 12 hours day. Generally, sometimes due to the seasonal changes, day may be shorter and night may be longer, and day may be longer and night may be shorter. Generally, it contains 12 hours. 12 plus 12, 24. So, night is divided into 4 yamas. Previous night is divided into 4 yamas, and the following night, the following night also is divided into 4 yamas. So, what is today? What is the Kala Pramana of this today means? They define like this, they declare like this. What is it? Taking the last yama of the previous night and the first yama of today's night and also daytime. So, last yama of the previous night, daytime. So, what is the last yama? That also they will declare. Where we are supposed to wake up. In olden days, anybody is supposed to wake up after 3 o'clock. You are not supposed to sleep up to 7 o'clock. That is prohibited. For any Sishtachari, that is prohibited. So, the time, the last yama of the previous night in which you are supposed to wake up, taking from that onwards up to the first yama of this. First yama is at the end of first yama of this today's night, you are retiring, you are going to sleep. So, this Kala Pramana is Vartamana Kala. Some people say. Some people differ. What do they say? No, it's not so. The later half of previous night, the first half of today's night, you combine them with your daytime. So, that is today. That is the meaning of today. So, like that, they go on prescribing some theories to declare what is today, what is yesterday, what is. So, whatever it is not today, it is yesterday, and whatever has already elapsed but not today, that is called yesterday. Whatever has not elapsed but not today, that is Bhavishyat Kala. So, also artificially they declare like this. That also should not be done, because nobody takes into account all these rules, all these time pramana rules you have been declaring to declare today I have gone there, yesterday I have gone, tomorrow I am going to there, I will go there. So they declare like that. They know what is the meaning of today, what is the meaning of yesterday, what is the meaning of tomorrow. So that doesn't require any technicalities. This is to be done by me today. He will say, this tomorrow I have to do it. This I have already done yesterday. So when declaring like that, he knows what is yesterday, what is today, and what is tomorrow. So also, so for kala pramana, kalopasarjane tulyam asishyam, kala vishaya eva, evam na siddhanti. You need not prescribe any theory to determine vartamana kala, bhuta kala and bhavishyat kala. For example, we have got a lit lakara prayoga regarding bhuta. Earlier we have explained this. Bhuta kala has got three varieties. That is samanya bhuta kalam and anadyatana bhuta kala and paroksha bhuta kala. Paroksha bhuta kala also there are certain theories. What is paroksham and what is anadyatanam? How to differentiate it? Some people said long ago what has happened which has not been witnessed by the speaker. There lit lakara prayoga has to be done. So some people said no, it may not be long ago, a week ago, or a fortnight ago, a month ago, like that. Some people have even told it need not be long ago also. Suppose where the action has been done and where the speaker is there, they are separated by a just one tadika. What do you call in tadika in English? Tadika. Something like a mat.
A screen.
A screen. A mat like screen. When the place of action and the person who is speaking, they are separated by a screen. That also is paroksha, because it is not witnessed by the speaker. So also the differing versions are there to declare what is paroksha bhutakala. But here Pranini says they are naturally processed in the language. You need not labor.
As there are so many variations, it should be asiddham. Asishyam.
So also in regarding upasarjanam, pradhanam is important, upasarjanam is less important. Suppose this also you need not labor with technicalities. People say we are important in this village, we are unimportant in that village. So important, more important, less important. I am important in my house. Swadeshe swagruhe pujyate murkha. Because in our own house I am respected, so I am important here. But in my village I am not important. I am not sarpanch. I am not important. If you go to another village, if a Raja goes to another kingdom, he is unimportant. A Raja is important in his own kingdom. So important and unimportant, important, more important and less important, it depends upon the loka vyavahara. All such matters are not to be technically defined. So also upasarjanam. People say, earlier grammarians used to say, this tatpurusha, bahuvrihi, all these sanya vachaka shabdas of samasas are the product of Ashtadhyayi sutras. Earlier they used to say, purva padartha pradhanaha avyayi bhavaha. Avyayi bhava samasa is one samasa with two words in which the purva word, the first word is more important and the second word is upasarjanam. That type of samasa, Panini has named it as avyayi bhava samasa. Udaharanam, upakrishnam. Upa is avyayam, Krishna is Subantam. Krishnasya Samipam ityarthaha. They said here Upa is more important than Krishna. The fact is that fellow is nearing that Krishna, nearby Krishna, that is more important. The fact being nearby is more important than Krishna Shabda. So it is declared as Purvartha Pradhanaha. The meaning of Purva Shabda is more important here than the other. Upasarjanam Purvam Ichadayaha Sutra Ichadi Sutrani Uktani. And then for Tatpurusha Samasa they said Uttara Padartha Pradhanaha. In 2 words forming a Tatpurusha Samasa, the Uttara Shabda, second Shabda, is more important than first Shabda. For example, Raja Purushaha. When we say Raja Purushaha, that Purusha is, we are indicating the Purusha as important. Incidentally, that Purusha is relating to a king. That is incidental. Apradhana. So, Purusha Shabdaha, Pradhana Shabdaha. Tarhi, evam Tatpurusha Samasasya evam muktam purvam kimiti Uttara Padartha Pradhanaha. Dvandva Samasaha Ubhaya Padartha Pradhanaha. Bahuvrihi Samasa.
Anya Padartha.
That they used to say Matvardhe Bahuvrihi. Earlier the Americans told, what is Bahuvrihi? Yatra Matvarthaha Bhavati. Matvarthaha anti having that. Matu Prachayaha. A person having that. Chakrapanihi. It is a Bahuvri Samasa. The person who is having chakram in his pani, who is having wheel in his hand, he is Chakrapani. Ante the person having that, so Matvardhaha. So Matvardhe Bahuvrihi iti uktavantaha Purva Vyakaranaha. Here also, because the name is quite clear, we are addressing Chakrapani with full consciousness of the meaning. So here also this Pradhanam and Upasarjanam, just as Vartamana Kala, Bhuta Kala, Bhavishyat Kala need not be dictated, the meaning need not be dictated. Pradhanam and Upasarjanam also Tulyam Asishyam, they are equally not to be spoken, not to be dictated. They are unteachable, they are untenable. So, we will take up the next sutra. Now, with this 57th rule, from 53 to 57, these are all the statements made by Panini negating the earlier concept of Vyakti Vachane. Lupi Yuktavad Vyakti Vachane, that is negated here by these 5. So they are called Asishya Prakaranam. The sutras where it is declared that they are not to be taught, Asishyam, that is called Asishya Prakaranam. All these 5 sutras, they are known as Asishya Prakaranam.
They are not to be taught in the sense they are not necessarily to be taught.
We will go to the next sutra. Jatyakhyayam ekasmin bahuvachanam anyatarasyam. Now we have come back, we have come out of this Asishya Prakaranam. Jatyakhyayam ekasmin bahuvachanam anyatarasyam. Now we will just analyze these words. Jatyakhyayam, that is Saptami. When Jatyakhya is there, what is Jati? Jati is a class or a kind of certain beings, classes and kinds, species like that. Jati means generally Manushya Jatihi, Ruksha Jatihi, Pasu Jatihi. In Manushas also Purusha Jatihi, Stri Jatihi. Again, in Manushya, there is a different, in Kanisham, it is at least in this our system, old system of India, Brahmana Jatihi, Kshatriya Jatihi, Vaishya Jatihi, Ichadi. These are very prasiddha words in the earlier times. So these are Jati Vachaka Shabdas. Jati means the group of certain individuals who can be separated from others by a certain characteristic, by a certain action. By a certain action they are doing, or by certain qualities they are having, etc. So, this is called Jati. Jatyakhya. Akhya means name, naming. Jatyakhyayam. That is when a Jati is named. Ekasmin. Ekasmin Vishaye. Jativachakaha. Generally it means a group. Ekasmin Vishaye. Bahuvachanamapi bhavitum arhati. To signify one person, one Jati, we can signify by Ekavachanam or Bahuvachanam also optionally. I think I am clear. Because in this rule, everything is important. All the words are equally important. It is only in Jatyakhyayam. Ekasmin Bahuvachanam Anyatarasyam. Ekasmin means in one. Bahuvachanam means plural number. Anyatarasyam means optionally. So, Jati Vachaka Shabda contains naturally many persons who are in that Jati. But to signify Jati, that can be Ekavachanam or Bahuvachanam. So also the adjectives of Jati Vachaka Shabdas also, accordingly they can be Ekavachanam or Bahuvachanam. So we will take some examples along with some adjectives. Sampannaha Yavaha. Sampannaha Yavaha ichukte Yavadhanya Jatihi. Dhanya Jatihi. Crops. Yavadhanyam, Vrihidhanyam, Godhumadhanyam, Ichadaya Jati Vachaka Shabdaha. Dhanya Jati Vachaka Shabda. Dhanya means crop. Pulses, etc. So, Yavaha Sampannaha. Sampannaha is fully grown. It is Yava Jati Vachaka Shabdaha. It is used in a singular number here. Sampannaha Yavaha. In the same meaning, we can adopt Bahuvachanam also. Sampannaha Yavaha. This is in Bahuvachanam. Jatyakhyayam. Yava Shabdaha Jatyakhya Shabdaha. It is signifying a Jati. So that can be used in Ekavachanam, Bahuvachanam also. Evamcha Manushyaha iti vadamaha. Manushyaha Brahmanasilaha iti vadamaha. Manushyaha Brahmanasilaha. He gets confused. That means all Manushyas are like that. So here Manushya Shabda is Jati Vachaka. It can be used Manushyaha Brahmanasilaha adava Manushyaha Brahmanasilaha. Sampannaha Vrihihi. Vrihi Dhanya Jati. Vrihi means rice crop, paddy crop. Sampannaha Vrihihi. And Vrihi is now in this Kshetra, in this farmland. Vrihihi Sampannaha, full grown. That can be used in Bahuvachanam also. Anyatarasyam. Sampannaha Vrihayaha. Another example is also given in the Shastra. We will take it. For whatever it is worth, we will take it. Purva Vayaha Brahmanaha. Purva Vayaha Brahmanaha Prachutheyaha. Because it is given in the Shastra, I am telling it. Purvavayaha Brahmanaha Prachutheyaha. Earlier days, that was the Brahmana means here, let us not take a Jati Vachaka Shabda. Even though it is Jati Vachaka, generally Brahmana is the meaning has been given in Oxford Dictionary. A person, elite person, a refined person in society is called in India Brahmana. That is the meaning they have given. In the first Oxford Dictionary, Brahmana, that Shabda, they have taken as it is from Sanskritam. They said an elite, a refined person in Hindu society is called Brahmana. So here you take in that sense. Purvavayaha Brahmanaha. Purvavayaha ante the person who is in the Adhika Vayaskaha. Adhika ante Purvam Bahuvayah Gataha. Bahuvayah Gatam Purvam. So he has become old. Old Brahmin. Old Brahmin is to be respected. That is what they say. Prachutheyaha. It means he should be welcomed with a standing ovation. In standing ovation he is to be welcomed. Because this is Brahmana Shabda, is Jati Vachaka Shabda, it can be used in Bahuvachanam also. Purva Vayasaha. Purva Vayas Shabdasya Bahuvachanam Purva Vayasaha. Ekavachanam Purva Vayaha. Purva Vayasaha Brahmanaha Prachutheyaha. Vayasa Jeshtaha Ichartha. Why we have taken Jati Grahanam Ichar? We will take some Prachudahanam also. Jati Grahanam Krutamatra. If it is not Jati Vachaka, it cannot be used in optionally in singular number and plural number. For example, Devadattaha, the name of a person. It is not Jati. Yajnadattaha. It should be used in only, because it signifies a single individual, it should be used in only singular number. Another, Ekasmin Ichuktam. Ekasmin means the two words in one Jati Vachaka Shabda, plural number and singular number are optional. Suppose two Jati Vachaka Shabdas are combined, for example, Vrihi Yavau. Vrihi as well as Yava, Dvandva Samasaha. Because Vrihi is different and Yava is different. Here we have to use only Dvivachanam. Vrihi Yavau. Because they are different jatis. There is a Vartikam there. That Vartikam also we will teach now. Sankhya Prayoge Pratishedho Vaktavyaha. Jatyakhyayam Sankhya Prayoge. When Sankhya Shabda is used along with this Pratishedha, that means Ekavachanasya Krute Bahuvachanam optionally. It is banned. Example is Ekaha Vrihi Sampannaha. Eka Shabdaha has been used as an adjective here, numerical adjective for Vrihi Shabdaha. So here Ekaha Vrihi Sampannaha we have to use in the singular number only. With these few concepts, we will come to our refrain with the Shanti mantra. Om Sahanavavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.